Hi everybody, Kare here, and this is Kare's Heart. And I want to show you my art today. This is going to be different than usual because I did not paint this week. It has been a super busy week. You know, I run a really big business. And anyway, what I want to do is I want to give you kind of a tour of my gallery and talk about what I'm supposed to be doing. So anyway, and you know, I've talked to you about my voice and my style, and a lot of it is about those little teeny lines around everything. And this is one of my paintings that I did way before the mastery program. And I want to show it to you because this is really shows you how I started this. Can you see all these little lines in here? And what I ended up doing is putting lines around every single place that it changes color. So that's that. And that's where I started. And those are all acrylic, and I had never done anything that was oil painting. I was scared of it. But what I would like to do is walk you around my gallery and show you my art, not just the stuff that I've done in Milan, but my pottery and just kind of a sense of where I'm at this point. I'm just about halfway through the Milan Mastery program. And I'm so glad I started because I've learned so much. We were sitting in here I turned my living room into my art studio because it's got a nice big window and it's one of my biggest rooms. But looking around at my art, it's like I've done everything now, really. We've learned every medium to use. We haven't done watercolor, but I've done watercolor before. But we've done everything, you know, from spray paint to collage and inks and just everything. And I can't say exactly proficient at it all, but I've done it all. And now's the time that, well, what I was supposed to do this week that I didn't get around to because of my busy business. We were studying, what's it called? Decorative art. Decorative art is a form of art that you do for hotels, restaurants. If somebody has a huge home and they want something specifically for that room. And a lot of it is abstract, but not all of it. And we were supposed to do 8 pieces in 2 weeks, all sizes. We were supposed to put them on paper instead of canvas. And I'll show you, I've got that started. I have nothing on the paper. Checking to see if I've got it's been a little crazy here this morning too, to see if I've got my sound turned on, and I do. But anyway, I want to just take you around my gallery and show you what I've been up to. So I'm going to carry my camera. And you have seen all of this, but I want to just kind of show you everything at one time. So up there, those are my dolphins that I did, and they've got, and you can see the glitter in them, I think. Can you see them glitter? And I like those. There's a lot of things that I've done that I do like. And down here is my turtle. over here, this is my abstract that I put a bird in the middle of it. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Maybe this way. I'll show you what I'm working around here, and that is my desk with my brushes and pencils and pens and just about everything. And then over here, let me show you this while I'm here. This is what I bring around with me. Can you see that? Let me see if you can, yeah. Oh. So I've got all my acrylic paints here, my oil paints there, my spray paints, and then all of my mediums are back there too, but that's pretty much my art supplies. And then let me come back up here. So up on top, I've got the angel that I did. Remember my bear? That bear was done, it looks like a brown bear sitting in a chair, but it is really made out of a gazillion different colors, because when you put purple and gold together, you get brown. When you put red and green together, you get brown. So it's kind of an illusion that it's a brown bear. And then I've got my daughter's dog. I've got a fox. That one over there is me. That's my self-portrait. And I'm walking around here. And I don't know if you can see this good or not. As a self-portrait, there it is. Sorry, this is not easy for me to do this way. I did two, and the one that didn't look like me is behind those stars. You can see my eye and mouth and part of my earring over there behind the stars. So anyway, that's, and behind all of that, that's my easel that we were supposed to build, which Joshua, my son, built for me. And it's been really good to display stuff, but I can do a whole lot of paintings in there, at one time, which I'm going to need to be doing because, well, this one I told you I'm going to have to do, 8 paintings. And they all need to be one specific theme. And what I chose was to create paintings that look like they are made for a hotel or an Airbnb, and they will all be beach scenes, just water and sky and clouds, peachy colored clouds, and sandpipers. That's one thing that's very, very common in Florida is sandpipers. And they're little tiny birds that run really fast. And they eat these teeny tiny little, they look like little baby clamshells, but I don't even know what they're called. But anyway, and when I first moved to Florida, there were hundreds of sandpipers running up and down the beach. And now you don't see very many at all. I don't know what has happened to them, but anyway, so this is my easel with things that I've just put up here just because I have no place else for them. They're getting us into the point where we really need to be taking our art to art shows or galleries or selling them online or whatever, and I do need to move them. And if any of these speak to you, let me know because I have no more wall space, and I'll show you that in a minute. Let me just back up here and I will show you couple of other things. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to have to pull it up here. So this is seriously one of my favorite abstracts, and it was the first one I did. And it's so many layers and layers and layers of stuff. And I like it. I don't have a room for it to go in because it's pink and blue basically and magenta. I don't have a room that's anything close to that color. And then if you look down here, I have so much stuff under my desk. I've got paintings and paintings and paintings just stacked. I don't even know if you're seeing that. The way I have to hold my camera, I can barely see. But I have so many paintings. I mean, I have paintings everywhere. Okay, enough of that. So, let me show you. This is when I'm supposed to do 8 of these, I've got 5 of them ready. These are going to be my backgrounds, my canvases, although they're paper, very heavy paper, that I will do my waterscapes, my seascapes with little birds running around on it. But this table I have in the middle of my studio here because I have to lay, a lot of things I have to lay down. When I put inks down, for example, I have to lay them down. When I spray paint, I usually take them outside because spray paint stinks. It is so toxic. But so this is where I spend a lot of my time in my studio. So if we come around here, there's my front door. Where's my front door? You can't see my front door from from here. I'm looking at this. This is that cat that I did, and this is all down here. This is all really textured. And then this is that one that has my, oh boy, this is not easy to do. This one here is the one that has my, I call it beads on a string, which looks really good in some lighting because of all of the iridescence here. And so, I mean, really, I've done just about everything, haven't I? And down there is another landscape. That was, I think, my first landscape. So now I want to show you some of the other things. This is my front window. And I don't know that I ever showed you this bowl. Let me stand back from it so you can see it. So Joshua, my son, made this bowl, which is very big, as you can see. And I have a Oriental woman feeding fish. This is one of my favorite pieces. Over here, I always wanted to do sculpture. And this is my one and only sculpture. And it is, I did it out of clay. And you know, one thing that is real interesting, I think, about sculpture is with her, we had a live artist, and she had short hair. This is, in the class that I took, this is like the only one, mine was the only one that really looked like her. People did all sorts of weird things, but I wanted to see if I could make it look like her. It really does. But when we did the whole thing, we had to put it on some sort of a metal stand, and then we built around it. And then, and this shocked me when we had to do this, we had to cut her head off when we were all done, take the top off, and then hollow out the head. And then put it back on and make it look like we never took it off. I had no idea that's what you had to do. But then I painted her with a glaze that is a raku glaze. Do you know what raku is? You know, normally when you fire something like this big pot, it fires for like a day. And then you take it out and then you glaze it. Then you paint it with glaze. And then you put it back in and you fire it for like another day. Well, with raku, you put it in a special raku kiln. And then you fire it up. It's a live fire. You have to look through the holes to see if it's when it's getting close to be done. This probably took a half an hour rather than 2 days. And when you take them out, and this was too heavy for me to do, my teacher had to do it, nobody thought it would make it through the firing because raku firing is so fast. And so everything heats up really fast, and then you have to take it out with tongs, which I couldn't have lifted this with tongs. So my teacher did it for me. And then you put it in a bucket that's filled with paper or wood chips or something that will burn. And then you put the lid on top of the bucket and it will burn that paper. And that's what gives it the iridescence. And you have no idea whether you're taking it out at the right time. And so when we thought it was done, then you take off the lid and you hit it with a hose with cold water. And that stops the glaze. And you will either end up with something that, as my teacher said, looks like a brown turd, or you'll have something very iridescent. And she's pretty iridescent. Nobody thought she would make it. Everybody thought she would explode, but I did it good, I guess, because it didn't explode. So over here, this is one of my favorite pieces. My teacher helped me do this bowl, but then I painted it, and this is Quetzalcoatl, and this is the Hunab Ku. And then this bowl that I did here, and it's got a lid and it actually fits. That's another tricky one. These are all the Mayan symbols all around it. So these 3 pieces are some of my favorites. And then we're over here at this wall. But I'm going to show you some more of my pottery. Well, I can take these down. This is easy for me to do, I think. Let me grab them. This is one of the first plates that I ever did. And this is another Quetzalcoatl. I was really into Mayan stuff for a while. And he came out, I really like this. And it's a nice plate. I did a good job on that one. And then this one, this is a baby dragon. And he is crawling up to get his fire. And his fire is something else in there. His fire's inside. Because baby dragons don't have fire. They have to earn it. They have to, I don't know. I made up that. But isn't he adorable? Look at his little face. I really enjoyed doing pottery. I haven't done it for a while. I have a whole pottery studio on my property, but it's a mess. It's a real mess right now. One of the things that I used to do with my pottery is every time I would make something, I would have leftover clay. So I always made little pots. So this is one of the pots I made with leftover clay. Look, there's my signature. And a little top on it that actually fits if you put it in the right place. I have so many teeny little pots because whenever I would be done and have leftover clay, I would make little pots. I didn't want to waste it, and I didn't want to put it back. This is something else that is special to, that one's stuck on the wall. It's not just glued. Let me see if you can see. Yeah, you can't really see it much. It is one of my, it's one of my mandalas called Prayer for Mother Earth. And my daughter-in-law has a printing business, and she printed that, my mandala, which took, oh my gosh, she said it took like 20 hours to print because there's so many little stitches in it. And so now we're back at this wall, and these are more of my paintings. This one up here was one of the first florals that I ever did, and I just think that came out so good. And then this one down here is one I did later in a glass vase. And look at the rose down there and the reflection on the table. I like this one a lot. This one came out good. And then you probably remember me doing the dragonfly, because dragonflies are my symbol. Did I ever tell you my dragonfly story? Let me tell you my dragonfly story. So, years ago, we took the kids to Disney, and we were staying in, what's it called? Well, there's a camping section of Disney. Did you know that? They have camping cabins, and we were staying in a camping cabin. My kids were probably, they may have been 8 or 9. And I went out, there was a kind of a field by our cabin, and I went out and just to get away from the noise. Kids are noisy. Boy, do I know that. My grandkids, Grayson and Colson, are 7 and 6. Well, 7 and 5, he'll be 6 soon. And, noise. They have dinner with us every night. And I meditated. And something I never do, I ask for physical confirmation because I got a message. And the message was to drop the N off my name and make it Kare. And I asked for physical confirmation for that. And when I opened my eyes, I had a dragonfly sitting on my knee. And I heard it talk to me. And then it flew around me like 3 times and went away. And I went, wow, that was definitely physical confirmation. And I went back into meditation. I got more information about what I was to be doing. And I asked it once again for physical confirmation. And when I opened my eyes, there was a dragonfly on both of my knees. Yeah. And they talked to me. And then they flew around me like this 3 times, and then they took off, and I followed them. And they took me right back to my camping cabin. And I thought, wow, my name is now Kare, and I know what I'm supposed to be doing. Well, we went into Disney. I didn't tell anybody. I was so shocked. We went into Disney, we walked around, and we were in Epcot. And in Epcot is all the different countries. And we were right outside of China. And all of a sudden, my husband, Charles, disappeared in China. And when he came out, he had this little box. And he said, I was drawn in there. I have no idea why. I bought you this because I was supposed to. And I opened it up, and it was a jade ring with a dragonfly in cloisonne on both sides. And I'm going, holy moly. So dragonflies have always been in fact, when I opened up my yoga school and I put my hand on the front door of it for the very first time, a dragonfly lit right on the door. So I'm going, it's supposed to be here. So yeah, dragonflies, when I see them, they are definite messages. So and this one down here, you've seen before. This is one of my favorites. There's so many colors in this. It is just, I painted it on bright pink. And a lot of artists, at least in Milan, will paint on a very bright color and then pretty much paint over it. But if you look closely, you can see the pink coming through, and they just kind of make things glow. So that's one of my favorites, as long as I'm down here. This is my angel, my pink angel, which Colton, my 6-year-old, wants, and that's going to go to his bedroom to watch over him. This is, let me stand back so you can see how big it is. Actually, there you can. These are the chakra mandalas. They go from the root chakra to the second chakra, the solar plexus, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, heart, throat, third eye, and then up at the top is the crown chakra. And, when I took them to the printer to get, or the framer to get this all put together, it was hanging on the wall when I was done and came to pick it back up, hanging on the wall. And the printer, or the framer, said to me, I really would like to have you leave this here. I said, why? He says, because I feel so good, because it balances all of the chakras. And I explained that to him. He'd never heard about a chakra before. So, okay, this is one of my other pots. I may have shown this to you early on, but this is one of Joshua's first big pots, and it's really heavy. Oh my gosh, it's so heavy I can barely pick it up because it's not thin. And so it took me a long time to figure out what to paint on it because he didn't like doing the painting stuff, and I did. So these are heavy women running on the beach. And that's kind of one of my favorite pots too. Behind that are two originals. This one is the first chakra, this one up here. And this one is the same theme with the koi and the water, but just a little bit different version of it. And I like those. So here's my desk that I sit at in the morning when I do my meditations, and let me sit down at it while we're talking and see if I can do this. This has not been easy to drag around my big camera thing like this. But let's see. Well, my fish. And this is a piece of pottery that I did in a class. And what we had to do was we did a ball, and it's hollow, of course. But then we had to poke a hole in it and blow into it to blow it up. And I just think he's cute. That's I have a lot of my pottery still, so there's that one. And then I think probably one of my best paintings is one that we had to do that was really realistic, and that's this one. And this is called, I forget what those are called. I think it's a trompe-l'oeil, which means fool your eyes, make it look like it's real. And you see that little mouse in there? And those are apricots and cherries. And the story is that he tore through the paper. Oh my gosh. Painting that paper was like so tricky. But it actually kind of looks good. But the mouse tore through the paper to get to the apricots. And then right there, that one, that's where he ate. And then look at the surprise on his face, like he got caught. But one of the reasons that this looks so real is because, well, I can show you better. So, you know, I've talked to you about let me see if I can bring this down. Oh, that's better. I've talked to you about warm and cool. Well, where these are standing out, the reason they look so, don't they look juicy, like you could just pick them up and eat them? It's because of the way I used warm and cool. So wherever it's closest, it's real warm colors. And then the further back it goes into the darkness, it's cool. So that's what makes it look like it's really popping out. And that was fun. Okay, I'm going to put that one back. And this is my favorite desk. Oh my gosh. This is so gorgeous. There's a great store in St. Pete. Actually, it's more in Largo. That was the husband and wife. The wife was from Japan. And the husband was an importer. So he started importing Japanese furniture. And when we went up there, and they were having a major sale. I love sales. And I saw this desk, my husband saw this desk and went, oh, Kare's gonna love this. And I did. But they had a lot of other pieces that matched it. And so we bought all the pieces that went with it. And I had no idea where I was going to put it, but I fell in love with it. It's inlaid, not even inlaid. This, here you can see. This is mother of pearl. And it's not inlaid because it stands out. And then there's even drawings on, and every outfit is a different design. So I'll show you Charles. This was my husband Charles, and this is a picture that we had taken, that I took of him in Alaska, see the blah, whatever you call that, totem pole behind him. That's one of my favorite pictures. I just love that picture of him. So, and well, as long as I'm showing you pictures, since this is a little tour today, it's my daughter Jen, who's now 45, and Joshua, who was now 43. And they were probably 5 and 6 there. They're 18 months apart. And up there, that big mandala, that's one I did on a cruise ship, and I'll show you it closer. Because that's the Mandala reading that I want to do for you today. And that mandala, let's see if I can put this camera in a position, yeah, that you can actually see it. If you look close at the center, of course it's water, at the very center is a pearl. And then all of the people are from different countries in different kind of outfits. And then there's also animals all the way around the edge, and in the center the different fish. So it's, and I titled I titled this one World Peace. And I want to read you, I guess I put it there. Hope I'm not making you dizzy with this. So that's what it looks like on my mandala card. When you need world peace, and I think we definitely need world peace. Like the children of the world holding sacred ceremony around the creatures of the air, earth, and sea, this mandala offers a visual blessing for balance and world peace. And then this is what I channeled. Our thoughts are creative. What we think about, we attract to us. World peace begins in our thoughts. Expands to our homes, our families, our friends, and then throughout the world. So, relax, breathe, smile. Allow the sacred seed of peace to grow in your heart and bloom in your body and mind. Imagine all the world's people holding sacred ceremony to bless the creatures of the air, the earth, and the sea. Imagine Mother Earth pristine, her air pure, her water clean, now. Birth the new earth. Hold the vision of world peace. Ta-da! Okay, so there's one more picture I want to show you, but I hung it on my wall in my dining room, so I want to just show it to you. Oh, got to turn this around. There it is. I really wanted to do a picture of Jesus and a lamb because we were teaching the kids. They know the Lord's Prayer really well, but no, this is the Lord's Prayer. This is the Lord's Prayer. And so this is hanging over my dining room table. And it's one of my favorite paintings. I want to show you something up close. This lamb is just so cute. Look at his hand. And it looks so real because this is very, very rough. I just went and there it is. So that's pretty much my tour for today. I've gone a lot longer than I normally do. There's my kitchen. And if you can see outside, I've got a dining room out there too. And then we've got a couple acres, and it is just paradise here. So here's my studio again, and I have gone a way long time, but I'm glad I took the time to show you my studio and my artwork. Oh, and there's my first painting, my eagle, and I did that for Charles because that was his symbol. I'm a dragonfly, he's an eagle. And we have a lot of amazing carvings, and that was something that Charles always did. In fact, let me take you over here as long as I'm doing this, because I won't do this again. We've got just some of the nicest carvings. Look at that big one. So anyway, there I am. Hi. See my camera? This is what I've been, and it's on a long stick. That's what's been giving me problems here. But I'll just show you around. That what looks like a bed over there, I have a biomat under there that I can, and I've got my light tools that I can use there. I've got so much like healing equipment. So this is my healing room, and my, oh, there's two more pieces that go with that, with my desk. There's Chloe. And then that other piece next to my desk matches it. So that's my studio. And I'm so glad you could come and visit me. And if you're ever in St. Petersburg, give me a call and come on over. I'll fix you lunch. So blessings, everybody. Thanks for coming. And by next week, I should have more paintings. Talk to you soon. Blessings.